everyone. Welcome back to the Talkoffame podcast. I'm Kylie Montigney, and today I'm beyond excited to welcome Salisha Thomas. She's literally one of my favorite people. She's a California girl who took a leap of faith, left her job singing at Disneyland, and landed in New York with nothing but a suitcase and a dream. Within a week, she booked a beautiful national tour, and that her dream only grew from there. Since then, she launched multiple podcasts, signed with Atlas Talent for commercial and voiceover work, hosted red carpets, currently singing backup for Hugh Jackman, which, by the way, is how we met, actually, while she was pregnant, actually. We were just talking about this before, and directed shows off-Broadway in her hometown of Fresno. Welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you on. Like, it's been a while since I've, actually talked with you.
Oh, Kylie, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. This is awesome. You're
No,
awesome.
of course. So as we are kind of talking before about Broadway, you grew up in California and I've
Yes.
been going traveling back and forth. So kind of take us back to the moment where you kind of decided to leave New Zealand and take the lead to New York for Broadway and what you do now.
Okay, first of all, when I worked at Disneyland, I loved working at
Oh,
Disneyland.
I'm
Like,
sure I would have loved it.
it was so much fun. And it just was like such a dream, especially since I tried to get employed there for so long and I
Hmm.
kept getting cut. Finally, I got my dream position. I was originating a show, Mickey and the Magical Map, as Tiana from Prince and the Frog. Loved it so much. And when the call in my spirit came to go to New York, it was something that I could not ignore.
Hmm.
And I just went out to New York City to just feel it out. What would it be like to be there for a month? Because I can go there for a day or a week, but
Hmm.
New York is kind of a gritty, grinding type of place. I'm like, do I even vibe with that? But I went out there and Kylie, while I was there, a homeless man sat down next to me at a train stop and said, I don't know who you are, but you need to move here and you need to do it
Oh
now.
my God. Actually,
Yes.
that's crazy. A homeless man
Oh,
sitting next to you. I'm like, okay, this is my son. This is my son from God.
that's what it felt like. And a lot of things happened. But at the end of that day, I called up Disney and said, hey, I'm in New York City. They're like, what? I said, yeah. And I'm gonna stay here. They're like, whoa. So I put my notice in and like you just read in my bio, like I when I officially moved there 2 weeks later, because I had to go back to California, get rid of all of my things, my apartment, I got rid of everything. I finished my last few days at Disney and I got back to New York City and I found out about an audition of this national tour and I was
Mhm.
able to get in by the skin of my teeth and I got the show and I toured with that show for 2 years, made my Broadway debut on that show and was in that for 2 years and closed it right before the pandemic hit.
Oh gosh. So did it like actually close when the pandemic started?
No, it closed right before. So October, I think, 2019. And I was like, oh man, I gotta get the next job, gotta get the next job. And I was so stressed about getting the next job, which I did, which was the Britney Spears musical.
Mhm.
And we started rehearsals for that March.
Oh,
March
so the month that
3rd,
is right when the pandemic
2020.
hit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I think it was like March 12th. One of our leads got was she called in sick and the producer was like, hey guys, yeah, go home. And we're like, and what? Go home and what?
Go home and what do you want us to do this? Do nothing.
Yes. Yeah, just go home and enjoy. Like I remember Googling Kylie, like, what does it mean to go home and like
What do I do?
what do I do? Yes.
No, I would be Googling like think what are things to do as Bradley actress when I'm home. Like what are things I can do?
Well, we just didn't know like how long would we be home for a week. I think we thought like, wow, 2 weeks is a long time to go home.
I know. Like
And
at
it was,
first I was like when the pandemic hit, I remember I was like, oh yay, 2 weeks off of school. Then as weeks turned months, I was like, okay, I'm going
in the
nuts
months.
in this already. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
I think
going
it was
nuts.
like a year and a half or maybe even 2 years before we came back into the show. And craziest time, but everything worked out the way it was supposed to be in that pandemic, even though I that was the first time I'd ever felt anxiety. And
Mm,
I have a lot of friends with anxiety and hit like depression that I didn't even know. Like I
mm,
didn't even, and when I found out about certain of my, I'm like, wow, I don't even know what that feels like to have anxiety. In
mm.
2020, I felt it for my first time. I'm like, this is terrible.
It's awful. Trust me. I have anxiety since I was basically born. So it's like dealing with it for 19 years, you're just like, okay, I'm used to it by now. Like, but getting it older, you just like you never had in your life. You're just like you're like, what is this? Am I
Shock.
having a
It's
crisis or something?
yeah, I'm like every breath I took, I'm like, can I breathe? Can I like every single breath? Like I think my screen time went from 2 hours a day to 10 hours a day, like very quickly. I always had to have noise. It was wild. But even in the midst of that, I was able to find my love of podcasting like
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to start a voiceover career and I met my husband,
Mm-hmm.
Andrew, that we met on Zoom.
Oh, really? On Zoom?
Yeah, well, we couldn't meet in person. He was producing a podcasting conference, which I wouldn't have been to had I not started a podcast, and I wouldn't have started a podcast if I was busy on Broadway. Boom, 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 like all the things, one thing leads to the other. I'm at this podcasting conference on Zoom, and he helped moderate that session. He was like, "Great job! All right, next up." And he followed me on Instagram and slipped into those DMs, and I followed him back. And I think he asked me like, "What are you reading right now?"
Oh,
And
what?
I know. And
That's
I was,
crazy that you made the first move. Like, that's an immediately green flag for you. Like, that's immediate.
yeah. And like, also, I loved reading. I was in like two book clubs, maybe even three book clubs in the pandemic. I'm like, oh, here's what I'm reading. Da 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 da. We just never stopped talking.
That's how I was, because I didn't start getting into reading until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I love reading to the point where like I would take a book like everywhere I go. Like it's so bad. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I probably still hate reading for crying out loud.
I mean, taking a book everywhere you go is such a flex and it's such a great power move. If I'm out and about by myself in New York City, it's easy for me to strike up conversations with others, but sometimes I don't want that. And so I just open my book, put my earpods in. I'm like, all right, this book is too good. Go away.
No, go away from me. This is my side to whoever's on this train
Yes,
to not bother me. Just
don't
leave
bother
me
me.
alone.
But if I like you and you're like, oh, I read that book, all of a sudden it's like a conversation
No,
piece.
yeah, like I love those type of conversations. But if you're having a bad day or something, you're just like, no, just don't even bother. Just go away. I don't care if you know me. I just want my own peace, actually.
How many times have we seen people on the train in New York City having a bad day? There's nowhere else to have it except in public.
No, seriously, because you have to walk or take a taxi or a subway everywhere you go. So you're just like,
Yes.
well, I kind of have to, be in a bad mood in public until I get back to my
Oh
apartment
my,
or something.
the amount of times I've seen my own friends on the other side of a train having a really bad day. And sometimes it's like, whew, she needs her space. And sometimes it's like, I'm right here.
Yeah, you can just
Sit next
easily
to me.
tell like when people are in a bad mood. Like whenever I'm in a bad mood, my family and friends can easily tell I'm in a bad mood just by my face. Like you
Yeah.
can me be like, "How you doing, Kylie?" I give them a look.
Yeah.
Won't bother me anymore.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you were a twin. I can only imagine like how much you and your twin can feel each other as
No,
well.
yeah, because he's actually a minute older than me.
A
So with
minute.
him, yeah, he's a minute older.
Oh,
So
wow.
like with twins, it runs on my dad's side of family. So it runs like every like it skips a generation and comes goes and comes.
Wait,
It's
why do
it's a
we have
weird
so much
thing.
in common? Oh my
And for my brother, like me and him are opposites. Like he's a baseball sports guy. Like I love sports, don't get me wrong. I grew up in a sports family. But for me, I love like entertainment, theater. Like we both talked about this before we started recording. And like we're just different people. Like, I mean, yes, we're twins, and like people don't think we're twins whatsoever. Like you would
Really?
think like you're just like regular siblings, no twins, nothing.
Do you do any performing at all, Kylie?
I don't. Like when I was very young, like I used to do violin when I was very young.
Oh,
Like
work.
for like weeks and I hated it and I stopped. But
Really?
yes, I literally stopped because I was like I was maybe like 7 years old just because like I had bad anxiety as a kid. So it was kind of hard, but if I could go back, if my anxiety wasn't a thing then with how bad it was, I would probably still be doing it. But like I used
Well,
to
I have a
only do
question for
that.
you then, because we talked about anxiety a couple of times already, and don't let me trick you into making me interview you on this podcast. But what are your top tips for managing anxiety and stress?
I mean, that's a good question. It's because I'm still dealing with it now. Like,
Mm,
which is weird. Like with me, I feel like, a big thing for me that I love to do is reading, like we talked about. I love
yes,
reading all
yeah,
the time. I
yeah.
already, like, with this conversation, I already finished 4 books within a month.
Oh my
So, I mean,
gosh.
as many books as many people have read within maybe a month. I know people that read 20 books in a month. I'm like, how?
I'm not there.
I'm not there. I'm like, I
Listening.
can
If I
barely
can, I can
read
listen
one, let
to
alone
a
like
book.
or two, then maybe 20. I'm like, okay, how?
Right.
But for me, I know like reading is one, and then another one is like working out. I love Pilates. Like
Oh,
that's become my
nice.
new favorite thing is
Oh,
Pilates.
work.
It's like I don't know why I always love working out, but within like the last like new year, I just became very obsessed with it for some apparent reason. Like I don't know why.
Good for
But I've
you.
been dying to try in New York City for some reason. Just because it's like I barely go up there unless it's like Q show or something like that.
Yeah.
But I've been dying to try in New York City though. Like 'cause I'm sure there's like a lot of them in the city.
Oh, there are. And they're a little sometimes. I mean, I've found some good Pilates studios that I'm like, this is really expensive. But if
Yeah,
I can get
Pilates in general is really expensive. Like it's
is
like
that.
where I am, like there's a Pilates studio like 10 minutes away from my house. It's so expensive. I'm like, I don't have the money for this.
I know, but also it feels so good when I leave. And I'm a Barry's boot camp kind of girl. I
Mhm.
had to take a break while I was like super duper pregnant. But I'm like, oh my gosh, Barry's boot camp, it costs like 40 freaking dollars a class. And then I gotta get the smoothie. That's another $10.
Seriously, with New York, the taxes and everything are kind of higher than like where I am. So I kind of like, okay, I have to go to
New York is
Pilates, I have
nuts.
to get coffee. Then little list goes on, but it's like I don't have the budget for this.
New
Like,
York doesn't have the budget for that.
no, like you don't have a budget in New York. It's
New
different
York is
when you're
crazy.
home, but
Yeah,
in New York, you're like, there's no budget. You spend whatever you want.
just money doesn't exist. The limit does
No,
not
money doesn't exist. I'm like, Dad, if there's $0 in my bank account, you know why.
exist.
You know why. But like let's verse the question. What helps you?
Ooh, that's a great question. So sometimes I still get I was gonna say flight anxiety, which I do. I'm not a great flyer, but sometimes I still get stage fright. And what I love about Hugh Jackman's show is that I don't have stage fright. It feels so good sharing the
Hmm.
stage with him and just supporting him. Like I'm just chilling in the back singing some oohs and ahs. But a lot of times, like in a Broadway show, I get a lot of anxiety, or when I'm in a flight, like in an airplane. And so I started meditating, and it helps a lot.
Hmm.
Just like taking
That's
some
what
breath.
I used too
Yeah,
recently is meditation. I always hated it, but recently I started getting back into it more. Like not as maybe much as most people, but sometimes I would do that, like meditation. It does
yeah.
help.
Sometimes it feels like a luxury to find, especially since being a new mom, like finding time alone with the door shut and knowing that the other people, like people on the other side of the door, know that I'm not doing anything. Like it feels like a luxury to be able to sit and breathe for
I
10 to
know, it feels so good, right?
it does, but I'm like, if I hear Ajax crying, suddenly I'm like, I need to go. I need to help. I need to do something. I can't just sit here. Like
Yeah,
it
and
feels.
listen to my baby cry. Like, what type of
I
mom am I?
know.
Like,
I know. I know. So I'm trying to find that balance, but meditating is really big. And then also like just self-care. You talked about
Hmm.
Pilates, a workout, getting a good sweaty workout in, or even just a
Hmm.
walk and just being alone with my thoughts helps me. I like that. And
Hmm.
that's where I get downloads for my best ideas is when I'm by myself. The
Yeah.
trick the tricky part is I'm rarely by myself.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I love walks here. Like I'm in a small town in this great Wilkes-Barre area, so it's kind of like I live in this sort of development where it's like a commuted, like community houses and all of that, so it's very safe to walk. But whenever I go to the city, like and walk around myself, if I've had AirPods in, grabbing coffee or something, I'm like, that's where all my ideas and stuff flow. I mean, I love my town, don't get me wrong. But it's
Yeah.
just like I feel like when you're in a city, you're seeing all these taxis, you just get
Yeah.
more inspiration.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's great even when I'm surrounded by a lot of people in New York City. I feel like I can be in my own zone. But unless if I start running into people, which if I'm in my neighborhood, I do. So
Yeah, like that's the part is that like when you live in a community, you run into people that like your neighbors and stuff. I'm just like, I just want to be alone and no disturbed. Like,
have
but
you been
don't
to
get me
New
wrong,
York?
I love people, but in like
Right.
my community. But sometimes I'm like, I just want to be by myself. And with New York, you're just like, yeah, just too many people. I probably won't see anybody.
Have you been to New York enough to where like you see like famous people like walking their dog early in the morning?
I never did that actually. Like, I know a lot of people have, but I never actually saw somebody walking their dog.
I always feel like, oh, what an interesting thing to just like this walk. I don't have a dog, but like walking your dog at 6 in the morning in my mind should be a private like moment. Like
Mhm.
no one, it doesn't count. If people see you, it doesn't count because you haven't had your coffee yet, kind of thing.
Yeah, like
It is,
if
and to
I
see
went up
somebody
to them,
doing
I
it,
would feel so bad. Just because I'm the type of person that like loves like to respect people's privacy. So it's like
right.
if I see someone out and about, like a celebrity or something, rocking their dog eyes, like part of me wants to go up and talk to them and say hi, whatever. But part of me is like, I want to
Another
respect their space.
coffee,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I'm
Yeah.
like you don't want to talk to me if I didn't have coffee yet. That's a firsthand thing. If I didn't have coffee, you don't want to talk to me for a few hours.
Yeah, that's funny.
So to go back to Hugh, actually, so you've been singing backup for Hugh for the last year. It's ever since his residency at Radio City. That's kind of how we kind of met.
Yeah.
Like, how did the residency kind of change your relationship with your body and your voice compared to maybe like Broadway shows and all of that?
Oh my gosh, Kylie, what a question. I have never felt the way I did in my body as I did this last year during the residency at Radio, what's it called? Radio City.
Radio.
Was
Yeah,
that
radio.
what it's
Yeah, I'm
called?
like, okay, I'm like, I just know it's all like a hall or something,
Right.
but
No, like it was one of the first times in my life where I felt, well, let me just be real with you for a second. Like I felt like, okay, my body is changing so much so quickly. I don't want anybody to see me. I would like to go in a corner and hide.
hmm.
I want to go and eat the whole world and put my sweats on. I don't want to put makeup on. I just want to go and hide in the corner and mind my business and get fat in California. Like something, but then I'm like, oh, I got to be on stage in 2.5 weeks.
No,
Okay.
I kind of was like that too a little bit because I'm like, I'm a junk food eater, so I'm kind of like, yeah, I want to be skinny, like gym workout, but me, I'm just like, okay, I'm in mood for chocolate cupcakes or something.
Yeah. So it was like a challenge, like mentally, to
Hmm.
prepare to go on stage. And then as I got closer, I would get more and more ready. And then once the time came, it was a dream come true and wild that it was like, okay, just not long ago, I felt like hiding. And now I'm on stage in front of 6,000 people
At Radio City Music
at
Hall.
Radio City Music Hall next to a very sparkly, loving movie star. Like
Hmm.
it is the opposite of being invisible.
No, exactly. Like like with you, like with knowing him for so long, you're just kind he's like the type of person that is like, I don't care where I am. If people want to say hi, they can say hi. I really don't care.
And what you see is what you get. He is so kind and loving and genuine, and he makes everybody feel seen.
No, he
I
does. Like,
calling out the lighting guy, people retiring, the people playing the organs, the backstage, on stage. He knows people by name. He makes everybody feel seen. So you couldn't be invisible if you tried near him.
no, you can't. You can't.
No, he's
Like,
so
I
loving.
remember one day, like during the like his like last shows. Like it was like that Saturday morning when he came in. I was standing there, whatever, hate mind my own business. He came over to me and he looked at me and goes, grabbed my shoulders and was like, kind of shook me. And
No.
he was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, I mean, at that like shows, I was like, I'm very emotional. Just
Oh,
because he knew that. Just because I was so emotional with everything ending. And because I was so used to like think shows every month and all of that, like something to look forward to. And it was, the last free show. So I was like very emotional. And that Saturday, it hit me like a knife. So I was like, I wasn't crying or anything, but I was standing there. He knew I was kind of like, emotional. And he grabbed me. He's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Hugh, I love you to death, but I'm okay." And then
wow.
after he went in, sobbed.
Wow.
So he's
Yeah,
kind of like that type of person that like
really
he sees
is.
right through you. And with him, me knowing him for
Really does.
now, kind of from shows, he kind of like reads me like a psychic. Like if something's wrong, he'll see it. But it's like he makes everyone feel so seen. Like if there's a lot of people around him or around like whoever he's talking to, he'll focus on you no matter what's going on.
He really does that. He does a great job of that. And even just listening to your story just makes me emotional because he really does make people feel seen. And when I was like about to give birth, basically on stage, I felt like, should I be here? I don't want to have to sit down on stage and mess up the stage picture. And he said, Salisha, if you need to sit down. And I said, I don't want to compromise the integrity of your show. And he said, that is the integrity of my show.
That's
People
so
first.
sweet.
People first. Take care of yourself. Um and so because of that thought and that gosh, I don't know what is the word, that approach to the shows last year, even though it was a very vulnerable thing to grow in front of a lot of people on stage and also backstage because
Mhm.
other people could see me dressing, like the ensemble and things, it felt like maybe it is okay to go through so much change
Mhm.
with a community around
I
me.
know, and that's the most important thing because a lot of people oftentimes in this industry don't feel accepted if they're maybe 8 or 9 months pregnant. And some people would probably knock them out of the show, being like, "You're 9 months pregnant, I can't risk this." You know what I mean? But like with Hugh, it's kind of like he doesn't care about that. Like he does not care. He's like, as long as you're
He
putting
thought it was
yourself first.
cool. He thought it
Yeah.
was cool.
No, he's like so acceptable. And I remember like during the last shows, like that Friday before he came in, before rehearsals, I remember asking him, I'm like, because I didn't see you like yeah when you came in or anything like that. Because I think you came in like right after. So when he came over, I remember asking him like, "How's Salisha?" We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier before we recorded. I was like, "How's Salisha? Like, is she okay?" Because you were right about to give birth. You gave birth like a few weeks later after the shows, and I was so worried because I was like, "Is she okay?" Like, I was so scared for you just because I was like, "You're like 9 months pregnant." Like, I was like. Imagine if her water breaks. I was thinking the worst case scenario. I was like, Hugh, if you need me to go backstage and perform, like, I'm
I'm
your guy.
ready.
I'm
I'm
ready.
your
I'm
girl.
ready.
Oh my gosh, you're so funny. Yeah, that was a crazy time. I cannot believe any of that happened. And while it was happening, I'm like, well, duh, I'm not missing these shows. I love going to work. I'm doing this. And now looking back, I'm like, how did we do that?
No, seriously, I'm like as someone who watches it, I'm like, I cannot do that. I don't know how she's doing it, but if I was 9 months pregnant and performing right now, I would not. Like, I
You
cannot do
guys,
that.
Jackson's Landing, you guys posted that reel. I think Laura edited it of like
Yeah, yeah.
what I at each month me growing, and I watched that the other day because my family member was asking about it, and I was like, oh my gosh,
Like
this
it's so sweet. You're not gonna lie, like this is the first time I ever saying this, but I was literally crying to that reel. I was like, this is just so
I
sweet.
was too.
I was like, I can't imagine how she's feeling because I'm already crying
I
and
was
I'm
right
not
too.
like the person.
I was showing my newborn, not that he could see it, but I was like, that's you're in
That's
there.
me inside me. Here you go. Like, look. But that's literally I was just so crying because Laura, like I don't know if you met Laura in person or
I
anything,
did.
like what she
I did.
was, but she literally is just an amazing editor. Like she's just
Oh,
amazing.
fantastic. I'm like, should I hire her for other things?
No, seriously, like she's really good. Like she's been editing and all that for years. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, she's amazing. What's her handle? Laura Love
Um,
some yeah.
Laura loves Hugh or something. I think you follow her.
Yeah. Oh, I know I follow her. I just wanted to give her a shout out on here.
Yeah,
But I
I think
don't
it's
even
Laura loves Hugh. To go back, you every month you guys performed 3 shows
yeah.
while pregnant at Radio City. Like, how did you handle it? Because I know you kind of mentioned all of that a little bit before about being pregnant and all that, but how did you kind of handle it physically and mentally?
Well, okay, back up a little bit. So at Disney, we did 5 shows a day. So doing going from actually I did 5 shows a day at Disneyland, and then when I was performing at California Adventure, I would do 8 shows a day, and those shows were even harder than the 5 shows a day. So when I got to Broadway and I was doing 1 show or 8 shows a week, that felt like easy compared to 8 shows a day. So going from 8 shows a day to 8 shows a week to 3 shows a month, it
And
felt
that's like, this is nothing.
wait a minute. I'm like, this is great. Right. So it's like
Mhm.
the first show is like we have so much adrenaline. And then we had the Saturday matinee. And it's like, okay, I'm kind of tired, but there's no time to get tired because we only get 1 show left Saturday
No, I
night.
know. Like, it's
So
crazy. Like, it goes by
mentally,
so quick.
it goes by so quick. There was no time to complain. There was no time to get tired. It was like, we're going to blink and it's going to be over. So it was something that not just me, we all looked forward to it. And kind of sad every time it ended.
No, that's how I was too. Because every time it ended, I'm like, wasn't just yesterday I was coming to the city? How is this possible?
Yeah. Yeah. And like having to move in and move out of Radio City so quickly. It's like, I want to like put photos up, but we're only here for 3 days, two
I
days.
know, seriously. And like, there's always like 5 moving trucks in the back by stage
Yeah.
door. So
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like, they're ready to move. Like, they're like, I don't care
Kylie,
what I'm
the
doing.
curtain, the second the curtain touches the stage to go down at the last show, the moving guys are ripping the stage up. The
Wait, really?
second, the second, like I can't even get to the sound booth before they've started ripping up the stage. Like
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, it's
That
like
is crazy.
curtains down, the stage is being ripped up quickly. It is so fast. They're fast.
They're crazy because I'm like, how would you do that the second they're off stage? Because like literally it goes by like the ending of the show is so quick.
Yeah, it goes by so quick. And oh, the his last couple numbers, I don't know what is wrong with me, but I'm always in the wings sobbing. I don't know why. He's like, it's so hard to say goodbye. Da, 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 da. I'm like that song, and I look out into the audience and I see the cell phones like
Oh, the shining lights and all of that. Yeah, that's like one of my favorite moments, and also Rio. That's like one of my
Rio.
favorite things. Yeah, Rio. Like kind of became my obsession is the Rio song and him dancing all that.
That's
And I'm
funny.
like just like, oh
Rio's
my
fun.
God, just replay and make an album or dancing music or YouTube video
Right.
on that, please, so we can all replay it. Like speaking from, I know for a lot of Hugh Jackman fans, it's kind of like, okay, let's make it again like a
I found a
baby.
video of him doing Rio when he was like 20.
Yeah, there is a video. I forget who posted it. Like,
A Broadway Besties podcast.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So I saw it and I was like,
I was
They
like,
should
oh,
make like a real like one him doing it like when he was like 20 and then now at 57, well 58 now or whatever. And, like they should just do like, comparing videos.
yeah.
Last thing I have to ask for you is what does becoming mean to you in this chapter of life?
Whew. Wow. So I like to call my year 33 because I'm 33 right now, my Jesus year.
Mm,
And a lot has happened in this year. And now I'm about to have a birthday in a week or so, a couple weeks. And I feel like becoming a mom, getting through last year, and still currently performing and doing a lot of different things,
mhm,
I feel like I've stepped through this portal and realizing that one of the secrets to life is really choosing our perspective, that
mhm,
everything is neutral until you give it meaning or compare it to something, which I don't recommend comparing anything, but um, that everything is about our perspective. And something can be not good or bad, but the way you look at it can make it heaven or hell.
no,
And
yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so there are things that I'm like, it's on the tip of my tongue to say the negative, like, I'm so tired of this or that, and realizing what a gift
Mhm. It
so many.
really is because like with as you're getting older, you kind of realize like what the meaning of life is and living life. Because as we're like for me, I don't know how it was for you, but when I was younger, I really didn't think how important things were in our lives, like
Realize
in
it.
terms of confidence and all that. Because I was like young, and it's hard to realize like about
Yes,
that when you're very young.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. Like having a baby crying all the time. Well, Ajax doesn't cry all the time. He cries when he's hungry, when he needs comfort. But when he's crying, sometimes it can be overwhelming for me. Like
Yeah, like
he
as a mother, it's kind of overwhelming if
loves
you don't know
her
what they're feeling
silence.
exactly.
I love my silence. I love my alone time. But there was a time when I had a miscarriage, and I wanted to hear that crying. And so when I remember
Hmm.
that these are answered prayers, it goes from, oh my goodness, make it stop, to let me go comfort this
I
sweet.
know, it's like a just different perspective.
Yeah. And so the power of a positive mindset and gratitude, it really does help shape the life that I want to lead and continue to lead, and to remind myself to always focus on the gratitude of it all.
That is true.
I
Yeah,
hope
like
that
as a
answers your
19-year-old,
question.
that's hard to realize at some points in life, but like it does get easier. It
Yeah.
really does get easier. But this is, I think, the perfect way to wrap this episode up. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. I know with having a newborn and all that, I know busy schedules can happen all the time, but I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time to chat with us. It means so much.
Thanks, Kylie. Thanks for reaching out. This has been awesome. You're so great. I mean, you've been doing this since you're 13. Let's go.
I know, yeah, of course. So thank you everyone for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, and review, and I'll talk to you guys very soon.